went over, and we kept thinking we were going to get under fire. The place they had 25 soldiers there. They were having breakfast. They were having a hell of a time. They had no idea that America was getting close to them. And when they saw us, they thought we were Germans in American influence. So, but we quickly captured them. But unfortunately, not before they told the rest of the people, the rest of the pillbox that we were there. So suddenly the element surprised us. So now remember, it's daylight. We had a little food left, and so on and so forth. So we did what we could eat. Nothing could be hot. I mean, everything was K-rations, C-rations, cold stuff, and so on. And to have right again, remember I told the pillbox over here, I could see a farm community. When I say a farm community, a farmhouse with a barn and so on and so forth, and it looked dirty. So someone said to me, hey neighbor, go over and see who's in that place is occupied. And I said, why me? And he said, go. So I took a couple of soldiers, we walked up there, and we walked completely through the barn, through the house. We were convinced it was empty, and we heard a baby cry. Baby. We went back in the kitchen, and here was the carpet over, and underneath it was a trap door. We opened up the trap door, and the basement was filled with people. Of course, they thought we were going to kill them. All we said is, look, we had German interpreters with us to tell them, just don't do anything, just stay where you are, and there's going to be no problem whatsoever. So they wanted to thank us. So they shoved up bread, black bread. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, no one had anything except white bread. I'd never seen black bread. We thought these poor devils were starving themselves to death. They were eating rotten bread. So the first couple of loaves we threw away. Someone tasted and said, that's not bad. So we saw our first pumpernickel bread. First pumpernickel bread and those sort of things. Then someone said, I've heard a rumor that these German krauts smoke their hams in fireplaces all year. So someone said, look at the fireplace. Look at the fireplace. Every fireplace had a ham in it. So suddenly we're eating ham on pumpernickel bread to the guest of our enemy and so forth. But I said it was a 2-day mission, 2 days ammunition, 2 days food, and so forth. At the end of the 3rd day, we kept thinking we were going to be relieved. 4th day, 5th day, 6th day, 7th day. The Germans were attacking all the time. We had 435 to start out with. Now we're down to a couple of hundred. At 9 days, there were probably 35 or 40 left that could still fight. But the Germans had not conquered us, had not taken any Ranger prisoners, and we had 350 German prisoners. So finally, at the end of the 9th day, someone came in, and on the 8th day, we had a Ranger chaplain who was absolutely fearless. I went up to him and I said, hey, I'm really scared. I'm convinced I'm going to be killed like all the rest of these people. He said, look, Roger, everybody's scared. No one wants to get killed. But if your best friend gets wounded or killed, it's very appropriate for you to say, God bless you, sir, and I'm sorry it's not me. I'm sorry that it's you, but not me. So that was kind of the way that we ended up, that we finally got out of there. When we went back, we started filling up with replacements. It was very hard to get volunteers from the Ranger battalion. We never had more than 50%. So we were marching maybe 3 or 4 miles behind the front line with recruits. And this Jeep pulled right beside my platoon, and there's General Patton. Patton says, in front of me, he said, son, what outfit is it? It's your 5th Ranger Battalion, sir. 5th Ranger Battalion? What are you doing back here? Well, we're training recruits. He said, look. And then some words that I can't tell you. I might add that I got to know George Patton Jr. very well. He never saw his dad after his death what But he said his dad was practicing in front of the mirror. He could cuss someone out in 3 minutes without using the same word twice. he was very, very proud of it. So the point was that we're still alive. The war is coming to a close, all we didn't know it. And of interest is the fact that our next mission was go to Krakow, where we're going. But, again, I got this call, neighbor, go up to the up front, bring everything you own, and bring 3 sacks of ammunition. Okay, that's kind of a strange thing to ask. What am I doing here? He said, see a guy in that Jeep over there? Just go with him. So I went over, and I saw a full colonel and the driver in the Jeep, and it was clear he was in the intelligence corps. I don't even know why I knew it, but I knew he was in the intelligence corps. And I said, Colonel, I'm neighbor Gall, what can I do for you? He said, get in, we're leaving. And I said, well, would you mind giving me some idea what we're going to do? He said, the Germans, Nazis, have appropriated all kinds of stolen Jewish art and items that are very expensive and so forth. We're going to start going in Bavaria, we're knock on bank doors, and we're going to say, would you mind opening your vault? They're going to have 100 reasons why that's not possible. And I said, now what? He said, I'm going to say, neighbor Gall, blast the door open. So that's what I used the explosives for. And there's a learning curve, and we'll have to go from the bank door. And pillbox door is a learning curve. On the pillbox door, you just put the C2 on the door handle, and the door flies open. Use out a bag ball, nothing happens. So we finally found out that if you put enough explosives around the door and put in a primer cap, the door comes open.
Plastic explosive.
Yeah, the door came off. So, the second day that I'm doing this, I'm someplace near where we are today. But I don't know exactly where it was, but it was someplace in the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. And I was getting tired and so forth. I grabbed some meat and some bread and something to drink, and I went down to the river. The river's here, right here. I just sat down. There was a dock in front of me. And the German fast patrol boat comes up and docks right in front of me. And I said, I have a machine gun, a submachine gun. As I said, I hadn't started eating my lunch yet. So all 5 guys get out of the boat, fast patrol boat, including the captain, and they again think I'm a German in an American uniform. You know, I'm doing way back here. So I quickly cast it. Then I said to myself,
Too much.
what in the hell am I going to do with a German fast patrol boat and 5 prisoners? I can't take care of anything. One guy had been to college in the United States and spoke perfect English. So I said to him, give me your flag, give me the buttons off your officer's uniform, and get the hell out of here. They thought that was a really good deal. And that's what happened. I still have that Nazi flag. And it's worth thousands of dollars on it. Because it's official German Navy flag. Holocaust Museum calls it once a month. So, the war in Europe is over, and I'm in the Army of Occupation for several months, 6 or 7 months. I get sent, my Ranger Battalion gets ordered to be the spearhead of the invasion of Japan. So we're going back to New York. Everyone gets 2 weeks off, then meet in San Francisco. Remember, we were 8 months ahead of them as far as the big walls. In New York, Japanese surrendered. So in 45 days, I'm back at Duke. I told you about the 3.5 semester thing where I had 2 years and then I should have only had like a year. the last semester, they didn't have to take our finals, they just told us to go. That was a good idea at the time, that was a bad idea when you came back. All kinds of things. So anyway, this goes on and on and on and on, and I think it's enough. Thank you so much for listening, I appreciate it. Are there any questions?
Thank you for what you did, yeah.
I have been on History Channel, Discovery Channel, French television, Chicago television, on a lot of radio shows. I've made 20 presentations this year. I speak at colleges and universities.
He's also highly
The way it turned
decorated.
out was that World War II was a popular war because it was a popular war.
He's also highly decorated.
Yeah, I have a Silver Star, Bronze Star, Purple Heart. My wife wanted to go back to Vegan. I never did. We went back at the 25th anniversary, and the French Army decorated me with a Britannica medal. And I said, "You must have the wrong guy." He said, "Are you brought me here alone?" I said, "They said, my name was on the back. There was a five-digit number back there." I said, "You must give these things out like peanuts." He said, "That's not the serial number." He said, "That's a serial number, not a consequential number." He said, "Napoleon got number 1 in 1803. Wow. Yeah. Or was it 1703? When was Napoleon emperor? 18. All right, any questions? Thank you so much for coming. I know I have been published, but not a full book. People have asked me to do that a lot of times, professors and all, some lecture together. I never have. But
Very
if
interesting.
you look on the go in the emails, I'll go with it. Pull up our neighborhood and see a lot of stuff. Anything else?
How accurate was Band of Brothers to
It was
trip?
very accurate. It was done in Ireland. Yeah. It was very accurate. Patton always told his family he never wanted to have a movie.
Were you in the Army too?
Of course, it wasn't Patton movie. It was very accurate.
Combat engineers, that's what he's talking about,
Yeah.
building bridges and walls.
All his family said was that,
Not during the Second World War. You're not that old. Huh? Jesus. We're like in between. I used to
Were
run.
you in New York when the Japanese surrendered?
yes, that's in New York City.
So then that famous photo, were you like in
No, I
Times
didn't kiss that
Square?
girl. That was a Navy guy. That was a Navy guy.
Did you see? Did you see him
Yeah.
kiss that girl?
Yeah. Yeah,
Were
it
you
was-
in Times Square though? Like were you around in that celebration?
I went across on the Mauritania with the British ship. We had 2 meals a day, and stewed tomatoes were the main menu of both lunch and on the British ship. And of course, they considered they were lucky to have anything at all. I came back on a battleship, actually an aircraft carrier. And they were just pushing airplanes in these landings, just dumping them.
Really?
Just dumping them. If you wanted to stay in Europe, as some of my friends did, you could buy a Jeep for $10. Yeah, you get $10. You buy a 2.5-ton truck for $25.
I figured I wanted to cost me $50.
Well, the answer is that the ones that were buying usually stayed were the ones that were going to stay in Europe. And a number of Americans did that.
Well, thank you.
Anything else?
Roger, I had an uncle that was Battle of Bulge. He was captured by the Germans and spent some time as a prisoner of war. An uncle of mine.
He was a German soldier?
No, American
American,
soldier,
yeah.
captured by the Germans. Yeah,
Yes.
and finally freed by the Russians. And he said he was better off when being
Well,
with the
that was
Germans.
probably in
Yeah.
someplace.
I don't know where exactly.
The Germans, we allowed the Russians to capture Berlin. We just left. And just let them capture it. And I might add that people thought that was a very stupid thing to do. Just like they thought letting Paris be captured by the French was
Politics.
no, all politics.
Political history.
Very good.
See, that's fun.